All right, welcome back to week 30 of our Life Science Concepts Explainer. Today, we are diving into something absolutely magnificent: biodiversity. Picture this: a massive, incredibly detailed, interconnected web of life. It's quite literally a divine tapestry, no? One where every single thread, no matter how tiny, holds the entire masterpiece together. And there's this ancient scripture from Psalm 104 that says, "How many are your works, Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures." It just perfectly captures the awe and wonder of what we're looking at today. It points right to the sheer variety of God's creatures and reminds us that, hey, every single organism was made in wisdom with a unique, vital purpose. So as we dig into the science of ecosystems today, keep that perspective of purposeful design right in the back of your mind. So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, we'll define what biodiversity actually is. Then we'll look at why ecosystems absolutely need that variety, check out some real-world examples, discuss human impact, and finally wrap up with morality and peace. Let's get right into it. Starting off with Section 1, what is biodiversity? Let's explore this incredible variety of life. Now, biodiversity isn't just about going out and counting how many different animals are running around in a forest. It's way bigger than that. It is the total variety of life. Sure, it includes the sheer number of different species, but it also includes the crazy variety of genes within those species, the different traits that make them unique. And if we zoom out to a macro level, it includes the vast variety of the ecosystems themselves, from the deepest oceans to the highest mountains. It's literally life's variety on every possible scale. Just compare a lush, tropical rainforest to a dry, sweeping desert. Places like rainforests and coral reefs are just bursting with different threads in that tapestry. They are hotspots of incredibly high biodiversity. On the flip side, harsh environments like deserts naturally have fewer species built to survive there, so they have a lower biodiversity. But here's the thing: both are absolutely crucial parts of the Earth's design. They just function very differently based on the variety of life they support. Moving right along to Section 2, why ecosystems need variety. This is really about the strength found in that tapestry. You might be wondering, why did God design ecosystems with so much variety? Why not just populate the Earth with a few super strong, invincible species? Well, the answer is simple. Variety creates resilience. When an ecosystem has a ton of different species, it bounces back from changes, natural disasters, and diseases so much better. Think about it. If a disease wipes out one specific type of plant, a highly diverse forest is going to be just fine because the other plant species aren't affected. Plus, this variety does heavy lifting. It supports complex food chains, gives us the natural ingredients for our medicines, enables crop pollination, and even aids in global climate control. Simply put, the more variety, the stronger and more stable the whole system is. Let's look at how this plays out in Section 3, real-world biodiversity examples. I like to think of these as nature's superheroes. First up, let's talk about the incredible domino effect happening in our coral reefs. These reefs are home to literally thousands of different species, and the coral itself is the foundational thread in that specific underwater tapestry. But if that coral dies, say due to warming waters or pollution, boom, countless other organisms instantly lose their habitat. It's a chain reaction. The fish leave or die off, larger predators lose their food source, and the entire ecosystem just weakens and collapses. Every single species relies heavily on the others. Our second example brings us to one of the hardest workers on the entire planet, the bee. This really goes to show that we've got to value every species, even the tiny buzzing ones. Bees are essential pollinators. God designed them with the highly specific purpose of transferring pollen from plant to plant. Without them doing this job, many of the crops we humans rely on for food, along with fields of beautiful wildflowers, would just disappear. The loss of this one tiny insect would literally cause massive human food chains to collapse. Crazy, right? Or picture this third example, a massive forest ecosystem built in these intricate vertical layers. Down on the ground level, you have insects breaking down soil. Up in the mid-level, mammals like monkeys are busy spreading seeds. And way up in the canopy, birds are keeping those insect populations in check from above. Every creature at every single level has a highly specific role to play in maintaining the balance. If you take out the birds, well, the insects overpopulate and destroy the trees. The whole structure is just wonderfully, perfectly interdependent. Which brings us to Section 4, human impact and conservation, and how our everyday actions actually affect this delicate web of life. We can see the real-world consequences of our choices plain as day. When we humans engage in rapid deforestation and heavy pollution, we are actively cutting threads right out of the tapestry. We're destroying habitats and slashing biodiversity. But it absolutely doesn't have to be that way. We can actively choose to turn things around by protecting wild habitats and enthusiastically supporting conservation efforts. Our actions have a direct, measurable impact on whether these ecosystems survive or fail. We have a lot of power here. All right, before we wrap up the pure science portion today, it's time for a quick homework check. Ask yourself, can you define what biodiversity is and why it's so absolutely crucial for resilience? Do you know what happens if it's reduced? Can you name 2 human actions that hurt it? And finally, how does that opening verse from Psalm 104 reflect everything we just talked about? Make sure you've got a firm grip on this core what, why, and how before your next assignment. You've got this. Finally, let's head into Section 5, Morality, Education, and Peace. This is really the heart of the heroesmartacademy philosophy. Let's connect all this vital scientific knowledge about ecosystems back to our moral framework. The core idea here: education without morality will hurt. The Godly Learner series intentionally intertwines biblical morality with scientific education for a very specific reason. Think about it for a second. What is the point of being incredibly smart, knowing all the facts and figures about ecosystems and food chains, if we just keep making bad, selfish choices that hurt ourselves and destroy the planet? Knowledge alone just isn't enough, guys. We absolutely need a moral compass to guide how we actually use that knowledge out in the real world. And you know what? That moral compass provides something truly incredible. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. We see firsthand that bringing a spiritually grounded, moral mind to our education, and specifically to our conservation efforts, well, it changes everything. When we understand that we're stewards of God's creation, caring for the earth stops feeling like this heavy burden, and it becomes a really purposeful joy. It leads directly to true, lasting peace of mind. So, I want to leave you today with this final thought. If every tiny creature, from the buzzing bee to the vibrant coral, has a specific, undeniable purpose in this divine tapestry, how will you use your education and your moral compass to protect it? Seriously, take a look at the natural world outside your window today and ask yourself where you fit in. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.